Unit 4, Lesson 3, Volumes of Prisms and Cones. So we've already learned that to calculate the volume of a prism, no matter what type of prism it is, you just find the area of the base shape and multiply it by the height of the prism. So if it was a rectangle-based prism, okay, you'd find the area of the base shape, so you'd find the area of the rectangle first, then you'd multiply it by the height of the prism. Okay, so I would like you guys to pause this video and go ahead and watch this YouTube link. Okay, it shows you a neat connection between finding the volume of a pyramid with the volume of a prism. Okay, so pause this video and go watch that one. Okay, now that you've watched the YouTube video, you will have realized that to calculate the volume of the pyramid, you just take 1/3 of the volume of the associated prism. So first of all, what does it mean by associated prism? It's just the prism with the same base as the pyramid. So let's say I have a cone that I need to find the volume of. Okay, well, what's the base? It's a circle. So what prism has the same base? Well, it's a cylinder. So I'd take the volume of the cylinder, and 1/3 of it is going to be the volume of the pyramid. Okay, so calculate the volume of a square base pyramid with a base side length of 3 and a pyramid height of 5. So first let's draw those into our diagram. Okay, so the base is a square, so that means all the sides are the same. And they have a side length of 3 centimeters, so that means they're all 3 centimeters. And then the height of the pyramid, so the perpendicular distance between the ground and the height. Okay, so that's that distance. Okay, so that distance there is 5 centimeters. Okay, now the volume of this pyramid is going to be the volume, is going to be 1/3 of the volume of the associated prism, so the square base prism. Okay, and that's going to help us with our formula. Now you guys get to use a formula sheet for this test, okay, but it's still good to know where these formulas come from. So, the volume of a square base prism is length times width times height. Or area of the base times the height. So, let's now calculate the volume of this pyramid. So, the length of the base is 3. The width of the base is also 3 because it's a square. And the height of the pyramid is 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and simplify this. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 5 is 45. Okay, and now we do 1/3 times 45, or think 45 divided by 3, which is 15. Okay, we just have to add in our units, so volume is centimeters cubed. Okay, so the volume of this pyramid is 15 centimeters cubed. Okay, we have an octagon-based pyramid with an apothem of 4 centimeters. So the apothem is the distance from the center to a side. It's kind of like the radius. And each side length is 6 centimeters. Okay, and finally it has a height of 20 centimeters. Okay, so the volume of this pyramid is going to be 1/3 the volume of an octagonal base prism, which is area of the base times height. Okay, so how do we find the area of this base? How do we find the area of an octagon? Remember, it's the number of sides times the side length times the apothem divided by 2, okay, and then times the height of the pyramid. All right. So, number of sides is 8. Side length is 6 centimeters. Apothem is 4 centimeters. And height of the pyramid is 20 centimeters. Okay, so I just plugged in the numbers. Now let's simplify inside of the brackets. So 6 times 4 is 24, divided by 2 is 12. So that all works out to 12. Okay, let's keep simplifying inside the brackets. So 8 times 12 is 96. Okay, now we have 96 times 20, which is 1,920. And finally, the volume is 1,920 divided by 3. So the volume here is 640 centimeters cubed. Okay, so the tricky part here is remembering how to calculate the area of an octagon. Okay, find the volume of a cone with diameter of 10 and height of 7. So first thing you want to do is draw your measurements on the diagram. Okay, now the volume of a cone is equal to 1/3 the volume of a cylinder, which the volume formula for volume of a cylinder is just area of the base times the height. That's what all prisms are. Volume is area of the base times the height. Okay, it's good to understand where these formulas come from, but when in doubt, you're always welcome to look at that formula sheet because you'll be able to use that for a test. Okay, so area of the base. The base here is a circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared times the height. So there's our formula for this cone. Okay, let's start plugging in our values. So, what's the radius? Okay, it's diameter divided by 2. This is going to be 5. And the height is 7. Now let's simplify inside the brackets. So 5 squared is 25, so we have 25 times pi. Okay, 25 pi times 7. Okay, I'm going to multiply the 25 times 7. We get 175 pi. Now let's do 175 times pi divided by 3. So we get a volume, rounded to 2 decimals, is 183.26 centimeters cubed.